Right. So, in this section, we will explain what types of files you can handle in Python, and we'll provide a couple of examples too. Then, we will discuss several characteristics of a dataset you need to always take into consideration when you clean it and pre-process it for analysis. Let's dive right in, shall we? For starters, we all know that in Windows, Mac, or other operating systems, a file is any item that can be created, modified, stored, or deleted by the user or the operating system. This includes image, sound, and video files, as well as workbooks, text documents, and many more. In contrast to operating systems, Python only maintains two categories of files: text and binary. Let me elaborate. A text file is actually a sequence of lines of so-called electronic text. Each line on its own is structured as a sequence of characters. Likewise, don't imagine electronic text as words only. Here we are referring to text, numbers, and symbols altogether. Furthermore, if a text file is composed of multiple lines, they are normally terminated with a special character called end-of-line character, or EOL for short. There's no need to dig into details and examples now, but it is important to be familiar with this concept. In terms of application, text files are indispensable today due to the ease and speed with which they transfer data to and from a server. What else is important to know about text files? They don't contain metadata. What this means is that they don't contain any information about the data stored in them. In other words, they only contain data as text. Finally, remember that in the literature and while doing an online search, you can often encounter text files, also as flat files or ASCII files, where the acronym stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. On most occasions, these terms are interchangeable. The other file type that Python can handle is not something we'll cover in this course. You only need to know its basics for your information. We are talking about the binary file. This type of file is written in a binary language, also called machine language. In other words, it contains nothing but ones and zeros. Therefore, due to the nature of this file type, its content can only be accessed and processed by an application that knows and understands its structure. Contrary to text files, the binary type of file does not contain line terminators. So, you can imagine the information stored here as a string of ones and zeros only, regardless of its length. All right, now is the perfect time to discuss two more interesting facts related to our topic. First, don't forget that text files and text data are two different terms that must not be confused. Text files refers to a certain type of file, which is the one we discussed so far in this lecture. Text data, on the other hand, is data or information which represents text as opposed to numbers or Boolean. For instance, a data value such as no feedback has been provided as of yet is text data, while the numbers 15 or 20.50 can be considered numeric data, and a true or a false value, Boolean data. Second, you may wonder, how has Python gained such a great reputation for processing image files? Well, this can only happen when image files have been transformed into text data that contains the values along any of the dimensions of an RGB format. This allows the storage of images as colors in a number format. That said, the takeaway from this lesson should be that Python handles two types of files, text and binary. You should also remember that multiple data types like text, numbers, Boolean, or image files, for example, can be stored as electronic text. That's why Python is capable of manipulating primarily text files. Thank you for watching.